I would like to call the meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners on September 18th, 2023 at 7:03 to order. Just want to announce that TCAM is recording. And on March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law a supplemental budget bill, which, among other things, extended the temporary provision for pertaining to the open meeting law to March 31st, 2025. Specifically, this further extension allows public bodies to continue holding meetings remotely without a quorum of the public body physically present at the meeting location, and to provide adequate alternative access to remote meetings. Language does not make any substantive changes to the open meeting law other than extending the expiration date of the temporary provision regarding the remote meetings from March 31st, 2023 to March 31st, 2025. Roll call of members and citizens. Todd Melanson, present. Nate?
Pretty sure it was Control A. It's supposed to unmute you. Nathan Madela, present.
Dave Ejon, Superintendent, present.
Okay.
Chad Sexton, Duranian liaison.
Okay.
Allison Wisensee, Housing and Grant Administrator.
Let's see. Veronica, you're next. You would.
Do you want us now, or do you want it when we call our meeting to order?
Well, you're a resident still, so just announce yourself, and then we'll call.
Veronica Cal, Townsend Affordable Housing Trust, present.
Beverly.
Beverly Napier, Affordable Housing Trust.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no chairman additions or deletions. Nate, did you get a chance to review the meeting minutes?
I was reading them.
I could have said David Worley.
We need three of us to be.
This is for last meeting.
Yep.
Okay, no, I did not read these yet. Started reading the top half.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move past this, and then
Okay. We'll
take
come back to
appointments.
it. Okay. There's no the correspondence we have. The gentleman at 7:45 couldn't come. I didn't see any other correspondence, so we will go to 2.1 Affordable Housing Trust. We have opened our meeting. Do you want to? Well, it's not a joint meeting, is it, or is it?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. So if you would open your meeting, please.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust at 7:06 p.m. Could I have a roll call, please, starting with Beverly and David, if he's present?
Beverly Napier, present.
David Worlin, present.
Veronica Cal, present, and Chaz, you're a member of.
Chad Sexton, Duranian, present.
Okay, so Cindy is not present tonight. All right. All right, so our meeting is open. I have no chairman's additions or deletions to the agenda, as I thought we were covering only the one item in this meeting. Beverly or David or Chaz, do any of you have anything to add?
Nope.
No,
Yep.
we do not.
All right, then we're on to discussion. So perhaps, Todd, you could enlighten us, present what you're interested in, and we'll talk from there.
Well, I'm going to let Dave take it from here. So he's got all the information. This is kind of within his plan for the department and something that's needed. So I will let him take over, and then we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll do some education first. So water is elevation driven. And right now, right across the street from that property is the end of the water main, and it's almost as far as you could go and still have pressure to homes. We own a tank parcel about a
Okay.
mile.
Before you continue, can I screen share and put up the parcel map?
Sure.
Would that be helpful in describing maybe?
Maybe in a minute. We'll get to the
Okay.
parcel in a second. So we already own a parcel of land for the tank, and it's currently being used by the police and fire for their tower. But it was purchased for a water tank. Without a booster pump, there is no way to get water to a future tank. And so what we propose is on the two properties that are currently owned by the town on the corner of West Elm and Blood Road to acquire from an easement from you to put a booster pump for that end of the town on that property.
Okay, so I just popped it up. So you're saying where is the
last hydrant in town is directly across the street from Blood Road, and
so this is Blood Road.
right, so you go across West Elm Street and then down about 30 feet, and that's the end of the water main.
Is it this property right here?
Correct.
Okay.
That's actually our easement.
Okay.
See that little dovetail? on
That
property?
L, you mean?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's the water easement,
Okay. All right.
and so that's where the water main ends.
All right.
And to get up to the southern part of town, which about 2,000 residents, you need to have a water tank. And we have the tank possible. What we don't have is a way to pump it up the hill. And this is the perfect, as you can see from where the main ends, it's the perfect parcel for the water department to put a booster pump in. Now, also on that second piece with the 4.7, it's high enough up the hill that it couldn't get town water without the booster pump. So it would be a win-win for everybody.
So when you talk about the booster pump, what's the size that you're looking at? And is it
It
this
would- it would
corner
probably-
that you're looking at?
Right. The building itself would probably be about 20 by 20.
So there's a building.
Correct. It's like if you've ever seen one of the well houses in Timberley Park, or the building at Harbor Trace.
Oh, hold on once.
No.
So you're putting a building on there.
Correct.
I have to ask a question, Dave. Why couldn't you put that building here?
Because of the location of the hydrant and where it is on the system.
Well, it's
So there has to be a certain amount of distance between a hydrant and a building.
no. It could be. The easement is not wide enough. It's a 40-foot easement, but to meet all setbacks and everything, it wouldn't be wide enough.
So it's just this.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not this.
Well, that's where the water mains are.
Do you have a map of the system that you can pop up of
I
your
don't,
water system
but
that would show pipes and hydrants and things like that?
I don't have it with me.
No.
But the perfect location is that property.
And what size, if this is too small,
So 50 by 50 easement. So that's probably maybe 400 or 500 feet wide.
That's a lot.
Your property.
Mm. Wow.
Wow.
that's 2,500 square feet that you're
Correct.
looking for.
Right.
All right. Okay, so let me just do.
And because it's an easement, the additional or the future homes don't have to meet that setback. because we're asking for an easement, not ownership.
I guess my question is 2,500 equal to 0.3 acres?
No.
Is it less
An
or
acre is
more?
42,560
42,560 square yards or square feet?
square feet. So it's, what is it,
It's a,
5/100ths of an acre?
a fifth.
Yeah.
5/100ths of an acre.
Okay, so it's less than the 0.3. So we're
Right,
not,
it's less than point one.
right. Okay,
No, that's not true.
No, it's 0.2, I think.
More than that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, an acre is 43,000. And we're asking for 2,500. It's a half of it, it's a half of a tenth.
we know 0.06 if you round.
Yeah.
It's 5%.
Okay, all right.
It's a very minor piece of land.
It's about 5%. It's about 5% of the
Right.
acre.
Yeah. Any, Dave or Beverly or Chaz, any other questions beyond what?
Well, if Dave could show the ideal spot to put this, and we could just do a quick site visit to look at it. I'm good with the concept personally. I just would like to just put my eyes on the ground there and
It's
see.
the upper northwest corner, and if you want me to, I can flag it out.
Yeah, flag it out and we'll take a quick look at it. We're doing a site visit anyway next week, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So let's
We
add
can
this to the
include
list.
this in it, yeah.
Let's do it. That's my only question. I'd like to just have eyes on the ground.
Right.
But I think it's a great idea. And I think that, it is a win-win. I think Dave is absolutely right.
It would provide the possibility for water for that end of town,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Which is-
for affordable housing in this
Mhm.
parcel. So
Mhm.
right?
And for that whole end of town. Right now, that population of that end of the town, they can't have water because the elevation is about 2,000 residents.
where would you put the tank, Dave?
The tank's already, there's a parcel on top of the tank. If you go up the top of the very, very top of the hill, there's
Uh-huh.
a tower there, a radio tower for the fire department and the police. The water department purchased that for a water tank.
So what they would do is once the tank is built, they would move potentially to get rid of, so you wouldn't have double the installations that you can put the communications on top of the tank.
Well, the fire department has already requested if I do anything with it
Yeah.
to remove it and upgrade it.
Yeah. So
Which is needed.
Correct.
All right, so Dave, you'll
I'll have a map, or I'll drop a nice little map and I'll stake it up.
Okay.
okay, that would be great. Our site walk is planned for, I believe, Wednesday, the 27th, with a rain date on the 29th. Am I remembering that right?
I think so.
I think so.
What time?
9:30 is what we said in the meeting. And then we have a meeting on the 2nd of October. That's our next regular meeting. So we could put this on the agenda for a vote. So that is 2 weeks from today.
it
Is that-
wouldn't need, that wouldn't need to be would that need to be a joint meeting again, or just you guys vote on it?
I think it's just us.
Yeah.
As long as Dave puts everything out there. I'm planning to make an appointment with town council during office hours next week to talk about this, talk about how we sign that over, what signatories we need, or who writes the easement for this? I'm assuming it's town council would do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
verbiage.
Yeah, because he did the easement for what's the road behind Gary's too, Dave, that we did the
Really?
Greeley, that we did we needed an easement on the property that was on Greeley and
Which is the
Main
road,
Street.
which is
Driveway.
even Beverly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
sorry, forgot that. But no, so he wrote the easement for that part of the property that goes up onto Beverly and Days. So
Right. All right. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think so. We'll put this on our agenda for a vote. We'll talk to Adam about this next week. Have you guys already had discussions with Adam on this?
I don't think so. I think we wanted to talk to you first and see where to go from there.
Yeah, talking to Adam would have been premature if you didn't
If you,
agree on it.
yeah, if you didn't agree, it wasn't worth approaching him on. So once we got this done and over with and we were on the same page is when we thought we'd talk to Adam. So if you're going to see him anyway, so.
All right. Should we all talk at the same time? You know, one member of your board.
When is it?
I think it's the 26th. Is that right, Chaz? Do you
Mhm.
know?
And you have to have
Usually-
everything in by the 22nd.
Pardon me?
You have to make your appointment with Adam by the 22nd.
I was going to do that tomorrow. So, okay. All right.
Hold on one second. When's his?
We can make that happen anytime.
Okay. What day is it? The meeting?
Probably the 26th. And he usually does.
That's 26th is a Sunday.
Of September?
26th?
It's a Sunday, isn't it?
Is it Tuesday?
No, that is the fall town meeting.
Oh, it's the fall
Tuesday.
town.
Oh, you're talking
well,
October.
No, I was thinking September.
September 26th is a Tuesday on my calendar.
Yes, that's the day
That's
I
it.
thought it was.
Right.
Oh, you're right. I'm wrong year. Sorry.
Adam's meeting from 3 to.
Are you going forward or back, Dave?
Backwards. Oops. Sorry.
All right.
But
So hopefully Adam can talk to us before town meeting then. I don't know how busy he'll be. Are you guys doing a meeting before town meeting, Chaz, or?
We're going to be talking about that tomorrow.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I don't get out of work till 4. So getting home by like 5:30's, I can do it, but it's tight. So
right.
Yes, Adam will be here 9:26 between 3 and 6.
So I'll do towards the later end as long as no one has taken that time.
I don't see anything. So you're probably good from 5 on, Veronica.
Okay. I was going to check in with Sabrina tomorrow. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
I
do
would
that.
I would text her because she's not in the office. So I would text her if you have her
Oh,
number.
she's not in the office tomorrow?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll do that then. All right. Then if Dave will mark out the section that you guys are looking for and draw us up a little map, we will go and see it on the 27th in the morning. So we would need that prior to that. So if he can have it done by town meeting, that would be great.
Right. I'll have it all. Well, your meeting, your walkthrough is the day after town meeting, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you could email that to me so that I
I'll have it by the end of the week.
okay, that would be great. All right. Anything else that we need?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So we have a plan.
Good.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Now the housing trust has to adjourn.
Pardon me?
The housing trust will have to adjourn their meeting first.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
All right. So could I have a motion to adjourn the Affordable Housing Trust?
I motion to adjourn the Affordable Housing Trust meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, we need a roll call vote. We're on Zoom.
Okay. All right.
So roll call vote, starting with Beverly and David.
Beverly Napier, aye.
David Whirlin, aye.
Chaz Sexton Durrani and I.
And Veronica Kell, aye. All right. With that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
folks.
Thank you.
All right. 2.2, Mr. Johnson was not able to attend. 3.1, discuss and review capital spending and warrant articles. These are the ones you emailed us, but we never met on, Dave?
This is the one, we got reimbursed for 2021, fiscal year 2021 and 2022
From who?
from the SRF.
Okay.
It came out to $431,000. Originally, I wanted to apply it to a loan, but because it's technically, I had a meeting with Loch Lord, which is the bond counselor for the town, with the treasurer in attendance, and because it's technically a loan, you cannot pay a loan off on it.
Okay.
So I wanted it to reduce rates because what's coming up in the next 5 years is 10%, 12, 12, 12, and 12.
Speaking of that, Dave, can we get Mike and Ty and Bond and see where we stand and see if that's still true with everything that's gone on?
Well,
See where we stand.
because right now nothing has changed because nothing has been set.
Correct. But I'd like to see what they say. If we can get him for the next meeting, and that would be a better directive on where we go and what we do.
Right, but this would what we do for the next time, fall town meeting, which is going to be sometime in November or the beginning of December, whatever they choose.
Okay.
Affects the rates
Yes.
up to about 5%
So if
a
we,
year.
all right.
So since we can't apply it to a loan,
Yeah.
the only thing that's because what the budget entails.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Just because my brain's a little slow from the allergies or whatever. This was a reimbursement for our loan, or was the grant? I'm not
This is a reimbursement for all the money that we spent
so far.
some of it.
Yeah, some of it anyways. Yeah.
And because it's reimbursed from a loan, you cannot pay a loan on it. And that's from Loch Lord, which is the bond council.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue it. It just sounds really weird.
Right, because that's where I would want to put it to pay down
The debt. Yeah.
some of the debt, but you can't do it. So
Yeah, what's the reason for that?
because you can't pay a loan on a loan.
Yeah, but if you have the physical money, and so why do we have a loan?
Why is the loan being reimbursed if we can't use the
Oh,
reimbursement?
you're being reimbursed on a loan from a loan.
Oh, wait a minute.
The money that you're getting reimbursed from is
Is
the
the
loan.
SRF loan?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, okay. In the all right.
So because it's reimbursed from a loan, you cannot pay a loan.
Because it's technically a loan. Yeah, all right.
So what are we obligated to hold it in escrow, or?
No, we can use it on other things.
Now,
Dave sent us an email a week or two ago.
right. So there's 5 things that are going to make up the budget and the rates. So personnel, we have no control over personnel that's union. Energy cost, We have no control over that. We don't have any control over a lot of things. What we have control over is capital spending. We're going to have about $500,000 in free cash from last year.
Yeah,
I don't want to touch.
no, I understand that.
Now, if we take the 431 and we apply it to the capital spending for the next few years, we can cut about 5% per year out of rates.
Right.
That makes sense.
It does.
And,
I just want
and
to, I'm trying to, Dave, I'm trying to find your email because you had it written out.
so we don't have control over very many things in the budget, but what we have control over is capital spending. And if I can eliminate capital spending, I can take it out of the budget altogether. And it kind of gets around, it's not a loan, we're not loaning everything, we're paying it outright, which we can. So it still gets us the same result.
All right.
It just I had to really think hard on this one and see how I don't want to be raising rates at those levels at all. And
no, so your idea is, let's see, transfer to the capital spending fund for the water department, purchase the gate exercise and vacuum trailer and equipment for fiscal year 2024.
Right, that was put up. That was put off from last year.
Until and then
keep things at 5%.
To replace the 2014 utility truck with an F-350. Replace the backhoe. Does this all add up to the 431, Dave, or is this just
$61,000 for the planning for the tank?
Okay. Dave, I think if you've got it covered with that and it knocks 5% off, and then we have Time Bond come in and tell us where we stand, I think it's a good job, kid. I really do.
It's the most creative way I can find to do it because we don't control very, very much of our budget.
No, I know so.
And it frees up the free cash to put for the future, and maybe in the future, maybe getting our rates down a little bit more, by keeping more free cash.
Well, so if we do this, you send them this, and then send them all the current information. Ty and Bond should start giving us a really good idea where we stand. Because I'd like to figure out where we are sooner the better. So there is no warrant yet for this.
No, it's got to go through you first.
No, I know. So why don't what we could do? First of all, first off, I want to see what Nate has to say.
Yeah, I'm looking at the if this is the best use of the money, that's fine. I mean,
well, so the gate exerciser, I can't say enough about. A lot of people are getting them. It's all pre-programmed. It goes down. It exercises the gate. The biggest thing I see, and Dave knows from prior experience that we purchased a gate exerciser that didn't have the vacuum trailer, and it was a nightmare. And not only that, you can use it for other things, for like getting on a service box and other things like that. The gate exerciser and vac trailer it'll help the guys out and the department out, because they're gonna have a lot of work to do with the gates and stuff like that going in, especially in Timberley Park. The utility truck, that's almost 10 years old. Probably needs to be replaced before we lose it and gets its, if you sell that on like Municipal bid or something, you'd get a decent return on it at this point. The backhoe,
we have to be offered to the town first, and I know
Yeah, that's true too.
the town would jump at it.
Okay.
What's
Well,
wrong with
that's
the
if that-
backhoe we have?
It's 20 years old, and it leaks.
The hydraulic fluid, Dave?
Remember, that's the first thing you told me about. Make sure there's a pan underneath it.
Yeah.
It's
Where's
20
it
years.
leaking?
It's 20
Hydraulic
years
fluid?
old, and it's small.
So the one they're looking at is potentially bigger, Nate. And when it was in the garage out at Main Street, that thing was perpetually leaking hydraulic fluid. They were perpetually replacing the gas connections, the actual lines. So
Hmm.
when they moved it to it's at Witch's Brook, correct? Now, or is it still at the?
Currently,
Yeah. So when they moved it over there, I had to make sure they had catch pans underneath it. I didn't want it leaking hydraulic fluid where the wells were.
it's
So
20
other than
years old.
Other than the hydraulic fluid leaking, yeah, those things are supposed to last quite a while. I mean, my brother just bought a German excavator from like 1960 or something like that, and the thing's a beast.
No, I understand.
So, I mean, I hate throwing something out just to buy a brand new piece of equipment. You could probably put a quarter of that in and get it fixed properly so it doesn't leak anymore. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast. These hydraulic lines, sometimes they go. But if
But
there's a
this-
problem where they keep leaking, identify that problem, fix it. This thing is the only problem with this thing is hydraulic fluid leaking. That needs to be fixed,
Well, the other part, well, it
especially
is
it operating in a water industry.
true, but also I will say that they have been fixing it, but the other part is it's bigger.
Well, hold on. Fixing is fixing. Clearly, if it keeps blowing lines, or it's either maybe it's not big enough. But like,
Yeah.
Well, that's
there-
the
there
new
is
one
a
would be
proper way to
bigger.
fix them. So, and
Would
then
you
my
say? Go ahead, finish, Nate. Sorry.
I had a couple things. So, are you using this backhoe now?
Well, we don't have anything else, and when there's a break, we have to be there. We can't have a piece of equipment that may or may not work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
and-
no, which is troubling because all the stuff, the reasons why these lines and leaks, they should be fixed like
Right,
properly.
right, and we've been doing that, but we're going to trade the thing in.
You've had a
And-
hydraulic diesel mechanic come and fix this thing multiple times.
Yes,
What is
Who is
is it the mechanic down at the highway garage?
well, we had them, but we also had Shepco is the only one around that does that kind of work.
All right.
But
How much bigger is it, Dave? The new one versus the old one?
it'll extend another 10 feet.
What's the weight difference? What it can pick up and stuff like that, or how deep it can
Double.
it dig? All right.
But like I said, when it extends another 10 feet, it can reach down another 10 feet or across a hole another 10 feet, which is, as you know, is huge when you're digging a trench.
Are you planning on subbing out less projects?
Yes,
So you're gonna get a new piece of equipment. You're gonna want to do everything more in-house.
yes. We have more crew, and we want to use them.
Yeah, certainly don't want a card game going on in the back room.
No.
Okay.
I like the planning on the using it for the engineering on the tank.
All right. What's the total nut on this excavator and all the supplies? I was just scrolling.
It's so it looks he's got it set at 170 for the backhoe. Is that with a trade-in, Dave, or is
With the trade-in, it's 164,500. It's part of the package, but I put 170 just in case there's some kind of a strap or something always comes up that you have to buy something, and
Okay, that's
it
the
gives us
cover.
5,000 to do that.
So this is a new 2023. Oh, okay, our trade-in.
Right. Milton Cat has a state contract. And so the list price is 295,000. And with the trade-in, it's 164,500.
Tell me about this vacuum trailer.
All right. So you should have a gate exercising program for every town. There are gates in town that are hard to work or
Yep, we've
filled with
talked
dirt.
about that for sure. Yep.
Right. So the vacuum, it's a gate exerciser and a vacuum. So the vacuum will suck all the gate in a matter of seconds. Instead of taking an hour, I've been on an hour and cleaning out a gate when it's filled to the top, because you have to do it with that looks like a scoop, and you have to keep doing it, and it cleans it out, cleans around the nut out, cleans all the water out, everything, and it can be used because it's hydraulic. It can be used for with a pump or a cutting machine as well. So there's other uses besides a vacuum and a gate exerciser. We can start a gate exercising program, which would be beneficial. It's the same thing in plumbing. When you have a valve, if you don't turn a valve on and off, they stick or they leak, or the packing leaks. So you should exercise them every couple of years. And we probably have about anywhere from 800 to 1,000 gates in town.
It'll also
So-
give you reports on them too, Nate. Like,
Right.
yeah, so like when it
So-
exercises the gate, it'll give you a report on the condition of that gate, depending on the tension and how many turns and all that other stuff.
So I take it this is one of those items that other towns don't like to share. Is it-
Oh, absolutely. Nobody wants it. Will not. If you
all
have
the
it,
other
you don't-
all
you
the
don't
other
put it-
towns have their own then, yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Pepperell's got one, Groton's got one.
I
I don't
Groton
think
doesn't. Groton subs theirs that work out. I don't think they have theirs. Pepperell, I don't know about. I know Westford has one, I believe. Chelmsford does. I want to say Lunenburg got one, but I'm not sure. I would say with all the work that they've got to do in Timberley Park once we get the plant up and running, and in Main Street, where some of those gates are, probably have never been moved.
As we found out on that leak.
Well, you didn't even have gates in the, let's don't go there. And the other thing I like about these that we found other uses that, other people have found uses for as well is like, you don't need, when you dig up the gate box, you don't have to make the service box in someone's yard. You don't have to make as big of a hole like you would with the backhoe. It's a lot more precise, and you can get down in on a lot smaller of a hole. So we're not interrupting people's lawns and things like that. It's not a pie in the ice skates thing, I would say, Nate.
I don't follow.
The gate exerciser, I don't think it's
Extravagance.
the gate exerciser and the vacuum trailer, I think it's worth the money to get. Just because I know, just we've all been listening to all the issues that like in Timberley Park and stuff like that, and so we know the condition of the gates and what to do in there. It would be one good step in the right direction to getting that fixed. And like it said, it has multiple purposes. I would be for it. The backhoe, if it's bigger, and it can reach deeper and farther, and we're not going to be subbing out. If they have to do high max or insertion valves, we're going to be calling Hydrotech or whoever does that type of work. But I would like to see us start doing more of our own work. And I know when we had the break on Main Street, where they had to have Hydrotech come in, ours wasn't, they were using Shepco's backhoe because ours wasn't reaching deep enough in and around where the main was there. So if we can forestall hiring another company and fixing it on our own, and Nate and I are going to hold you that, Dave. If we get this, I don't want to see a bill coming in from Hydrotech.
You mean
unless
for a $50,000 break?
Well, if we can do it ourselves, I'd rather see us do it.
I got money that can be put to other uses than.
Nope. I agree. So if that's your intent to be able to have it go deeper and stuff. Now you've got all the safety equipment, right? You need to go deeper.
Yes, we have trench boxes. We got
Okay.
we got dinged a little bit recently. The state has warned us that they're going to be looking at individual towns for OSHA, and
Westford got hit 2 months ago.
so we now have a trench box on a trailer.
And they know how to place it.
Yeah, and it's all ready to go instead of being in pieces.
That's all I wanted to hear. When you talked about going deeper, I don't want the guys going in unless they're safe.
Right. But but that's also the reaction for that, because we have been told that they're going to be looking at us. And
because they put it off. It was supposed to happen 2 years ago, but when COVID hit, they put the whole inspection program off. I know Westford got dinged. I think they got dinged for $65,000.
Yep. Did.
And I think Chelmsford Stormwater got dinged as well. So they're out there. So if you're out there doing the work and someone takes a picture of it, more than likely they're going to see it. So just make sure the guys are being safe.
And the other thing is that you have to have a competent person.
Yep.
And right now I got 3 people done, and I got 1 more in October.
All right. That's the 40-hour OSHA?
No, a competent person.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone's
Yeah.
OSHA 10, which is
Yeah.
also required.
Yep. All right. Do we need to take a vote now, or because it's not until November, we can do this? We can sit and chew on this a little bit more, and come back and vote on it next month, I believe. Does that give us enough time to get it on the warrant, Chaz? If we do it that way?
Yep.
Or should we vote it now?
Well, either way, it's,
What's your feeling? Do you want to chew on it a little bit more, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right. Let's put this back on the agenda for next month.
Right. So as long as I can get everything done for December, then I can include that in my budget for because I work on my budget in December, so I can present it to you the first week of January.
Okay.
So I'm going to take
you got-
these numbers, and I'm going to give them to Mike Schrader from Ty and Bond and see how much we can bring everything down.
I'd like to see him here next meeting, Dave, if he can. So reach out to
Yeah.
Lou and get him scheduled for our next meeting. All right.
Right, but what he won't have is the budget. But
Then-
what he can do is he can break this down with something, and I'll work with him.
All right. Speaking of the budget, Dave, since you
Yeah.
brought it up, I'd like to see a draft of it before we get too close to annual meeting. So I don't know, November, December meeting, having just a rough draft of what you're looking at, what the budget is, so we can see what it is.
Right.
If it's so, that's I would put that on your calendar. I'd really like to see it probably the November meeting but with everything else going on, if you have to do it in December, that's fine. But I'd like to see it before we get down to crunch time and need to have it for annual meeting.
Well, I'm hoping the union contract gets worked on because nothing's happening right now.
Well, that's between the union and
Right. I can't be involved in it.
nope.
Excuse
nope.
excuse me, Todd, could you
Yep.
just clarify what you would like on for next agenda? What,
All right, so the next agenda will be this proposal for the capital spending and warrant articles.
oh, the whole thing, okay.
3.1
The
state.
thing, yeah, the whole 3.1.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
And include the email that Dave was kind enough to put together that kind of outlines everything.
Okay.
And then we also wanted to have Mike Schrader of Ty and Bond, who is their rate specialist, and he's the one that has put together the rate study for the department. And hopefully he can tell us what this would do to lowering what was projected.
You bet it.
Because
And yeah, no, Dave, I understand.
no, I just I look at 58% in 5 years, and it scares the crap out of me to be able to tell people, yeah, that's what it's going up.
Yep.
So if I can cut down 20% off of it, or 25%, I'd be very happy.
Well, like you said, it's projected, and we've had a lot of
Yeah.
good things happen. So, this adds to it. So, I mean, the general rule of thumb, I was at a seminar on this, on water municipal finance, and you should never let your rates sit static for a long period. Or, to be honest with you, they were talking 1 to 2% a year, just to stay current with the rate of inflation and or cost of living and all that other stuff. But the levels that we've gone through, actually we're kind of ahead of our curve. If you look at some of the other water departments, they're now actually like Pepperell. I forget what their rate increase was, but I think it was
777.
yeah. So
The tier 1. And
say again.
Lunenburg 740.
So, you're talking significant because we're all having to take on, because of the regulation changes, a lot of this stuff. So, all right. I think we've killed that. It's going to be on the next month.
Right.
4.1 commissioner updates and reports. I don't have anything. Nate, do you have anything?
Can we go back to 1.5 just before we forget?
Yes, sir. One call back, item 1.5.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve meeting minutes of August 14th, 2023. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't see this work session here.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
see-
Hold on.
I didn't see
All
the
we
work
did
session.
was cancel the work session's easy. We just canceled these. Yeah, no, it's in the
Okay.
packet.
Okay.
We didn't cancel. We closed out the following accounts to free cash. And then there was a bunch of them. It was totaling 3,800.
Yep, I remember now.
No,
Well, I
wait a
remember
minute.
the meeting.
Okay, yeah, $3,819, and then we carried forward the balances from 23 to 24.
Yep.
And the amount of $14,485,638. All right. I amend my motion. I'll just start over. I move to approve the meeting minutes and work session minutes of July 14th, 2023 and July 21st, 2023.
August 14th.
What did I say? Okay.
You
I
said
move
July
that-
14th.
I
Start
move-
again.
Strike that. I move that we approve the meeting minutes of August 14th, 2023 and the work session minutes of July 21st, 2023.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? I don't hear any. Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Nathan Madela, aye.
Okay. going back to 4.1. Nate, do you have anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, I do. A couple
Okay.
things. I was signing warrants um the other day, last Friday. And run of the mill stuff, normal things we take on, bills I have no problem signing with and being the sole signator or having one person sign, whether it's you or
Yep.
me or a third
Yep.
person. These larger projects, I really would like to see more eyes on this. And
Okay.
I don't want to slow down the process of how we bill or how we pay our bills. But I do want more than just one set of eyes, especially on some of these big number items. I mean,
Okay.
I can ask questions while I'm in the office as just a lone commissioner, but really there's no decisions being made except for whether or not I decide to put my signature on as the sole signature, designated signee, whatever we want to call it. So I want to revisit that. I want to put that on. I want to know your thoughts, Todd.
No, on the larger articles, especially where we're getting into the payments to the SRF and the engineering and that stuff, the bigger numbers. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm sorry, I haven't. I usually wait for Brenda to ask me to come in to sign, and at one point we were going back and forth. But on these bigger ones, yeah, we both probably should look at them and put both our names on them. To be honest with you,
Jesse, that's why we brought in Terry.
So-
Terry's handling the
Go.
SRF.
Nope, I get that, Dave, but Nate's got a point.
Yep.
Those amounts are too much for one person's signature and responsibility.
It's
And
only $1.2 million this one.
still, that's more than like the $2,500 parts and some of the other stuff. Nate is correct. For bigger payments like that, it is something that I think I would feel uncomfortable as well, Nate. So, is there one down there now?
No, I took care of it Friday. That was the second
Okay.
draw, I guess.
All right. So I would ask when those bigger ones come in, and you know what, you shouldn't get stuck signing them all either, Nate. So let's go back to flip-flopping and when the bigger ones come in, Brenda, you'll need to notify both me and Nate so we can
I
come
will.
in.
I was just gonna say to you, Todd, that this weekend, if you want to come in and sign, I can leave the one that Nathan did sign last week, just so you could review it as well.
Okay, thank you.
I don't mind doing it. I work in town, so it's not a big deal for me to drive up the street and spend 15 minutes signing. I really don't have a problem with that. Don't get me wrong. A previous board I was on, we had a member who had requested seeing all of the, we would vote to sign out of session, but
Yep.
he wanted that subject to receiving a copy of the invoices, which
Mhm.
I like that idea, but it does take quite a long time. And really, if you're taking these invoices, are we talking about invoices that we received before the meeting date that we agreed to sign out of session? Are these new ones coming in that we didn't agree to sign out of session? Really, the way it used to be is we were presented with these in the meeting at the table. We all looked at them and all signed them. Zoom has kind of made that a little more different.
Mhm.
Now, if we're to do that, it would take a whole month and a
Right.
half probably to get our bills out. 30 days, I think, is great. If we can do it way less than 30 days, that's even better. It makes us look, we're on the ball. But really, the due diligence of this commission, it can't be skirted for ease of payment invoices.
Okay.
Perhaps what we need to do is something like that. Except perhaps maybe we do a work session, like a very short, basically bill signing meeting, and have like two meetings in a month. It's just an idea.
All right.
See, I don't have a problem getting together 2 or 3 times a month. I really don't, because we were elected to do the business for the
No.
water department.
May I interrupt? How they usually do it typically at the town hall is when the warrants are presented and ready, that they call and Chaz, you could probably state this too. And then you just come in and sign you can be at different times, but you can come in and sign that night and I can deliver them the next day. So say if I have them ready on a Thursday, Todd, you can come in Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday and note them as well. And then I can drop them off Monday morning.
It's just, I think they're trying to pay the bills. It's what, weekly, Brenda, or is it?
Yes, so I drop them off every Monday morning. Typically, sometimes I try Friday if there's a holiday. I try to get them in earlier.
I don't think that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the SRF.
No,
Which is
he's talking
That's
about.
just one thing. That's just
Yeah.
one thing. There's
He
other
wants to
things that
review
can
them.
arise that
No,
I don't want. Now, I've been on this board for over 10 years now. Okay. And things are going pretty darn fast. And kind of liked it when I could see everything. There was a lot more involvement with the board on big picture stuff. I feel like you've taken a lot of that, Dave, and there's some things I'm finding out about that I'm only finding out about because I'm signing these warrants. And there's a lot of it that I wouldn't even call day-to-day stuff. I'd call big picture. So I'd like a little more involvement with the board, some of these decisions as well. Which brings me to the next one if we're done talking about the signing part.
I need to chew on it a little bit more. I'm with you on the big picture on the I guess I'd ask for example like what you said is big picture on the warrants because I'm kind of curious about that.
It's stuff that dances on the line. I mean, one person might say, "Oh no, this is a day-to-day thing," or this is more of a commission thing. But that's really opinionated. There's no manual for that stuff. I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious, and then other things are, well, I don't think this is, or well, I do think this is, and that's fine. But a conversation's warranted if there's any question.
Okay.
I think I'm seeing less and less little stuff being brought before the board that affect the big picture of the department. And I would like to see more. That's why I'm here.
Okay. I'm just when I've gone in to sign them and I've gone through and read the invoices and stuff, and as sure as you do, I haven't never seen anything that would be an outlier from day to day versus, and maybe it's changed. I don't know. I just, to understand what you're talking about, and I'm going to go in and look this week at the ones you signed. Because I want to go over the big one, but I'll go through that as well because I'm curious to see what you're talking about.
So here's an example, and this actually touches on 2 things. I was signing warrants, and I saw a piece of equipment for like $200 or $300. I think it was $200 more, or $199. Some sort of heat applied logo printer or print. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was told by Brenda that it's going to save money. I'm like, I'm all about that, saving money. And which brought on, so like something like that. That's a great idea. Probably didn't need to come to the board, but maybe you should have. I mean, if you're talking about how now you get into a weird issue where uniforms, they're allowed to buy what they want. But the thing that struck me is that this highlighted that we have now. My understanding is in a previous board, or maybe years past, we talked about logos. We talked about the water department logo. This was visited in a meeting. I believe it was added to policy, but for some reason we have department members who have changed the logo and printed it on their shirts. Now, we talked about this in a meeting. We had a meeting about this. And my recollection is that that's not something that the employees get to change. Employees don't change that. Dave I don't even think Dave should be the one to change that. Now,
There-
we have, hold on one second, please. We have a logo that's been on our trucks, on our documents, on many other things. And I don't know where that logo came from, but we need one unified logo. We don't have two different logos. And now I'm saying this and I'm remembering even more. We definitely talked about this. So I don't know why this is happening.
Nate,
But-
was it a previous board or was I on that one? Because I don't remember that.
You may have been. Yeah, you may have
All right.
been.
This is going back a bit though.
So I want to put this on the agenda because we need to talk about this again. I don't like having two different brands
No, I would
on
agree with
on a
that.
town department. That's extremely unprofessional, and not including the townspeople as a whole or the commission. That's stepping a little bit too far.
Okay.
Because now Chaz, you're a member of the historical society or the historical committee. No? Okay.
That's
Maybe
the other Duranian.
I was talking to someone else. So I love my town and I love what history we have and what it means. So changing something like that, like a logo of the old main pump house on that, if you want to speak specifically to logos, I think it should stay like that because that's a piece of our history. That's the way that the department used to be. Before, Dave knows he's got postcards and everything hung up in the water department. But I felt that was a little egregious to go ahead and change a logo and start slapping it on uniforms when I believe that this is in direct violation of a policy that this board came up with or previous board.
So let's find the policy. Let's outline what's supposed to be being done and we'll correct it. But if we have the policy and it's written, we should be able to put this on the next meeting and we can work our way through it.
Review. I'd like to see review. And if for whatever reason this policy was not added, we need to get it in there because continuity is extremely important, especially if you're working for a town.
Well, I'd go you one step further. People use utility people to get into people's houses. If you have a brand, for the lack of a better term, that's associated specifically with that, it's very hard to duplicate. I know we're a small town and everybody may or may not know our guys. They may not. But if our trucks are all labeled the same way, someone can't pull up in a truck and have Townsend Water Department taped on it or whatever. If we have a known logo, it should be kept. And I kind of agree with you, Nate. If it's not in the policy, it should be. And that's definitely something the commissioners should have changed. Or if it is going to be changed or what have you, may involve the workers or whatever, but keep to what we're saying we're going to do. So if you guys can find that policy, that written policy, if it doesn't exist, we
Now,
Do
can.
you remember it being mentioned a long time ago?
I'm pretty
can't
sure
remember
you
when.
said the exact same thing last time, Todd, when you said
Okay.
we're going into people that I'm hearing it. It's ringing.
So
But I don't know if it was ever put
I don't
into
think it.
policy.
I don't remember the policy part, but I mean that's a way. I know it's one of the things they talk about when you talk about security and protecting your customers is keeping a singular brand for whatever utility. So if it's water or if it's so like in if you use Chelmsford for example, each of the three districts have a different color. The DPW is black or yellow. Storm water is white, so that if that pulls up and it's got the right marking on it, that's you have a good faith that that's the person. So I've got no problem with that. If there is no policy, we'll make one.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think there is, because this came up and we didn't just sit on our hands and say, okay, we'll just make sure it stays as the original logo.
It might have been Nate.
I think it was Mark, you, and I. Or Mike, I mean.
What, was it around the
Nah.
time of Rebecca, when Rebecca was here? I can't remember.
No.
I remember something about logos, but I don't remember when or
I
what.
want to say Dave was here. But
No,
anyway.
this has never been brought up.
Okay.
No.
The logo's been the same.
So Nate,
The same logo since.
I think it was before Dave.
I
Dave,
think it was
I'm-
Paul was here, Nate, because I'm kind of remembering I attended the meeting, but I don't think I was on the board yet. I think it was
Okay.
you,
Well,
Mike.
we're going
and-
back quite a while then.
I don't think Paul was here.
I kind of remember attending
Nope.
and him. Okay.
Well, let's look at the proof is in the pudding.
Yep, there you go. Listen, I'll fully admit that my memory is not. You go back more than a year, I need some serious remembering. So,
Does the artwork exist any longer?
Would it
Yeah,
be
it
on,
does.
would
it
it
should.
have been on the agenda? Because I'm looking at past agendas.
It may have been. It may have been. I mean, if we were formulating a policy,
Yeah, it's on
it
the
really should
agenda.
have been.
no,
What do we have now?
No,
no.
We're on commissioners. We're talking about signing bills, and I saw a bill for a label printer,
And this is how we
and
got
then
onto this.
I saw adverse logos in our Townsend Water Department logo on people's shirts, and I said, "Well, this is not right." And I'm surprised that it didn't pop into my head before, because I've seen these shirts. I don't know why we have two different logos. If the artwork doesn't still exist, I will personally pay to have the artwork replaced. And it should not have been lost or thrown out. That'll be a different story.
So, all right.
That's history.
So you want warrants? The signatory. I need to chew on that a little bit more. Let's put that on next meeting as well, please.
Okay.
The signing of warrants. I get you on the bigger ones, Nate. I really do. But I like that we are current with our receipts on a weekly basis. That it does a lot better.
I want you to see everything that's getting spent, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of items on there that I don't know anything about in meetings.
All right. So I got no problem going in every week and signing. I just don't think we need, on the bigger ones, having us go in at different times and going through and signing them. I get.
May I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Sure, Mr. Rainey.
How big is your warrants? Are they big? Because
Well-
ours we have, they get scanned and sent to us. We look at them, and then we have option number 1 is to go in and sign it with a wet signature. Option number 2 is we have signature stamps. So after we've reviewed the warrant, if we're okay with it, then we just, send in an email saying it's okay to use my stamp for the warrant.
We could do
I
it
like-
that way, Nate, as part
I
of the,
like
yeah, I
that.
like,
I would want everything sent all at once before the signing is due. So before you're ready to submit everything that you got, I wouldn't want to see 5 in an email here, 5 in an email there.
I could do
No.
that. I could.
yeah.
It'll be in packet form. And I like to look at I don't know if it's harder. I mean, you got to copy them anyway, right?
Well, you get the face sheet or whatever that's called
Yeah.
that has all of the breakdown of what account it comes out of and how much it is and all of that kind of stuff. And then you have your actual invoices or POs or whatever you have on the back of it that matches what you have on the front.
I don't like that new
I like
format, by
that.
the way. That new cover sheet is terrible.
Well, that's the approved cover sheet for the accountant. So
I
I
didn't.
can't
I
change that.
didn't approve it.
Okay. Well,
DOR did,
I don't have.
I don't. DOR didn't elect me.
right?
So, all right. I like if you would like to make a motion, we,
Well, this is
in
just an
that-
update and report. We can,
put it on the next meeting
it's
for.
going to be on the next
vote.
meeting.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
All right. Are we all set, Nate?
Yes.
Okay. 6.1, superintendent's updates and report, 6.1,
5.1.
5.1, excuse.
Chaz,
Oh, Chaz, I skipped right over you, Chaz. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's not the first time, Todd. Not from you, but I'm saying in general. I just would want to know, Dave, you in your reports, are you going to be touching upon the that legal notice that we got that you sent out?
legal notice.
Not the legal notice. The I
Notice
read through.
about the loans,
Yes.
the
Are you
The-
talking about
the-
the lawsuit?
Yes.
lawsuit, yes.
I sent it to everybody.
Correct. If you can touch upon that, then I don't have anything to add because I was a little confused on that, and I'd like to hear what.
Well,
your
can,
thoughts on
can you clue me in what you're confused on? Because then I can focus on that.
What was the purpose of sending that out?
Just to keep you informed.
Okay. All right.
You're our liaison, so we can do it right now. So 3M and DuPont have sent me separate letters.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, we're phase one because we put our lawsuit in early, and I've been giving our numbers to them. And
Dave, not 3M and the other company. It's through Napoli you've been getting this, correct?
also I've gotten one from DuPont and 3M directly.
Then you should send that to Napoli. You should not be dealing directly with them. I would send those to Paul Napoli and let him
I've been
know.
getting it from them too, but it's the one from from DuPont. I've sent it to you, and it basically it just given the same information as the same exact wording and the same as Napoli, but they have to inform the individual towns, and basically they're saying that they're going to send the check directly to the water department.
Yeah, but they're not asking you to sign anything, correct?
No,
All right.
we don't have to sign anything.
Okay.
So but I would forward that to Napoli and make sure that's correct, because I'm not sure they should be dealing directly with you. I think the way it's supposed to work is
They have to inform the towns, and that was part of the deal.
all right.
So as long as what they're informing you of
It's
is
the same as
the
Napoli.
same as Napoli, then I don't have any issue with it.
Right.
Okay.
Which it is. Basically, they have a payout. We're phase one, and our payout is sometime this winter for the first disbursement. There's going to be multiple disbursements from each one.
Right. And I'm aware of that, but there's also a lot of questions that especially Todd and I have talked about that we've talked to town council about. So
Which
we
is
want to make
DEP.
sure that we're all getting the same information and we're all
Right.
on the same page.
Well,
Right.
it's the Clean Water Trust, but the other part too is just keep in mind, don't start counting on those disbursements just yet. There's someone in the order of 28 state AGs that have filed for an injunction on
I'm
The
not counting
settlement.
on anything. That's why I'm not counting on the rates.
All right.
All
So
right.
so the Healy, not Healy, the AG in Mass. I can't remember her name, but like I said, I think it's up to 28 now, that because they don't deem it enough. And quite frankly, I agree with their assessment.
Mhm.
So I mean, it sounds like a lot of money up until if you go on the SRF, they have a list of submitted projects now, and some of those numbers are a lot larger than I think a lot of people expected.
Yes. So if anything that's asking for a signature or whatever, you definitely need to send that over to Napoli. Don't even.
Right, I don't sign anything.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. All right. If that is it, Dave, you are at 6.1 on discuss PFAS Harbor Trace Treatment Plant.
So if you haven't known that, Witchesburg 2 is at 16.4, and we're going to be testing in about 2 weeks to see if it's changed. If it hit, but the new water line will be active in 2 to 3 weeks. So we're going to be putting that into the system soon, which will allow us to blend.
Okay.
The building right now, this septic system was inspected today. So we now have a septic system for the new building. Electric work is being done. The floors will be poured in about 2 weeks, and the walls will be going up sometime in October. And the roof will go up in November. So they want to be fully enclosed by December.
Okay.
Except for the PFAS part of the building.
Yeah. Dave, one thing I want to say is to whoever, you and Brenda or whoever else, thank you for on the town website putting the schedule of the road finalizations. I think that was helpful and in giving good direction. So thank you for getting that done.
So the next update will be the end of next week, because we have a monthly meeting on Thursday. And then we'll find out where we stand exactly on that. But we'll be doing pavement on South Harbor Road, I hope soon, because that road's a mess.
Okay.
All right. So that's the update in the building. And for PFAS, our friend Conrad on 13 Proctor Road, we relocated his service. And
Okay.
he is completely happy because we upgraded. He almost had no water because the line was that clogged. At one time, that was the end of the water line. And him and number 15 were both tapped within 2 feet of the end of the water line. So the man on 15 just didn't want to bother the water department, and he never complained. So we took care of both of them at the same time. We upgraded from a 13 3/4 inch service to a 1 inch, and they have clear water.
Okay.
So that's that problem that's been hanging around for years. 51 and 52, the same thing. We drilled across underneath the road.
Yeah.
And so we took the next 2 houses off, and they're very happy because now they have clean water. Going to that, we had to add a hydrant onto the 16
What road are we on?
Highland Road.
All right.
Right. So we added a hydrant onto the 16 because the 6-inch main is clogged up, and that hydrant is almost inoperable because there's not a lot of water that comes out.
Dave, hold on for one quick second. How many houses are still on that old 6?
Well, a lot, but I'm picking off.
I get you're picking off the ones you can and stuff like that.
The worst houses are in the middle section of that water line, and I started at the middle. I'm working my way out.
Okay.
So the worst ones I got done first, and now I'm working my way out. It would take me probably another 2 or 3 years because we only have so much money.
No, I get that.
And then I can abandon that main, but I can't abandon the main till I can.
No, that's what I was getting at is I was looking for a time frame of getting everybody off of that.
For that section, 3 years, but that's also when I can cut 2 holes in the road, cut and cap the 6-inch main, and be done with it. And from all the way from Cross Street to Brookline.
Okay. I just want everybody off that thing. That when they put the 12-inch all the way up, why they did not take everyone off that old 6, I don't know.
It was to save money and
No, I know. Listen, it isn't a slam. It makes going forward a lot more difficult. So if we can get that done, so much the better.
making progress.
All right. Yeah. 540 Main Street.
All right, so that one, we're still, it's I guess we had we had a meeting with at the Housing Trust, the building commission.
Was it Park and Rec?
It's the building commission, and they liked the idea of getting 540 Main Street.
Okay.
So-
No, you're talking, I know what you're talking about. Properties.
Properties.
Yeah.
So
I know it wasn't building. I just
right. So it's the properties, and we're working on getting the town
okay.
that
All right.
property.
As long as that's going forward.
Right. And let's see. There's been an uptick on building. There's 6 homes that have been approved on West Meadow Road. 2 of them are being worked on right now. There's a home on Meadow Road. There's a 3-unit elderly housing triplex at 96 Fitchburg that also got approved.
Where's that?
Age restricted.
Age restricted.
Yeah, I know, but where?
96 Fitchburg. After the between Bayberry and Emery, about halfway.
Seen that build.
Say again?
I haven't seen that. Yeah, you must not be able to see it from the road or preliminary.
Yeah, they're just starting clearing.
Yeah, I didn't even think you could I know duplexes got to have like twice the lot size, but I didn't think triplex was the thing.
The big things between a duplex and a triplex is a triplex needs fire protection.
No, I know they have different rules, but I thought that in town they weren't allowed.
Well, it got approved by the town, so I guess
So
it's
that's
allowed.
it's the old Brown farm? Right
Yeah.
off of okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right.
They cut the lot in half and it's a house lot and it's now going to be a triplex.
Dave, is that on our zone too?
No,
Okay. Thank you.
it's not in any aquifer protection or
Okay.
any kind of protection.
Nope. You answered it. Thank you.
So there's about 10 units going in, and I've had inquiries on another 35 units.
Dave, on that triflex, they know they're going to have reoccurring fees for fire protection, correct?
Yes,
And backflow.
yes.
All right. I just don't want them getting hit with something
I also told them,
blindside.
right, it's only a 2-inch line that they're required to have,
Yeah.
but it has to be. I told them they have to push 2-inch lines across the street, and
Okay.
they've already agreed to it.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay. Scheduling next meeting.
The 9th is Columbus Day.
Yeah. I'm actually gone from the 5th to the 10th. So
The 16th.
16th's open.
I like it if y'all like it.
Mhm.
Let's do- I like
Nate, that's National Business Day. Just saying.
It's not in my calendar.
Why,
you have the weirdest stuff.
why, Chaz, is it not your business?
Listen, don't get punchy in there.
I don't have a national business. I'm only licensed in one state.
There you go. Oh, 7.2, review monthly abatements and adjustment lists. She just sent that out, Nate. Did you get to see it?
I
Yes,
did see an email pop in on top. I didn't open it yet.
Now that's
I
just
showed
last
up a
month
little
is for the overestimated, from when we had to, estimate everybody. So there was 4 overestimated last month. We have a couple this month, but we'll put them in next month.
All right. And you had to overestimate them.
Well, and abate
Because-
them some money, yes, or
Yeah.
credit their account.
Why did we overestimate them? With the meters weren't working or
Yes,
or
it was software issue from, some of them was a software issue that we're gonna be getting new software in. And the other
Okay.
one was, there was a couple that, has been estimated over and over again, and they finally changed out their meter.
Okay.
So when they change, we do that, so they'll change out their meter.
No,
and
no,
get
I
actual-
get the principle. Yeah.
And saying that we're 34% changed out of the town.
All right.
You did a final for 444 Main Street?
Yes. I figured it was easier to give you the whole charge book, so you'll see everything, the whole
Yeah.
charge per month.
All right. Do-do-do-do. You want me to make the motion? Nate, are you okay with this?
Do you want to vote on these abatements now?
I'd like to. That way we can get the.
Is that where your motion? Is that what you're asking me to motion?
I can make it. I just didn't want.
Okay.
You seem to be making them all, and I feel guilty that you're doing the lion's
Fine.
work.
Fine. Generally, it's hard with a 2-member board. Okay, I move that we abate account number 4110 in the amount of $37.90. Account number 60220 in the amount of $282.55. Account number 61616 in the amount of $68.82. And account number 60333, I believe we already took care of.
It's just on the list though. So
Did we already vote to
Yeah,
abate
but
it?
we already voted to abate this last time, I thought.
yes, at the last meeting you did, yes.
So you don't need to include that one.
My motion is on the table.
Second, motion's been made and seconded. Don't believe there's any further discussion. I will take a roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Nathan Madela, aye.
Motion's made and passed.
Just for clarity, that motion was for those top 3 accounts.
Yep, for accounts 4110, 60-220, and 61-616. Okay. Could I have another motion in regards to 7.3, please?
Yes. I move that we review and approve end of month reports receivable, bills receipt. Hold on. Review and approve end of month reports and bill payable warrants out of session.
Second, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Nathan Madela, aye.
Quick question on that, Brenda. You'll have them ready Thursday?
Thursday.
You
I
s-
usually typically have them ready on Thursday.
All right,
So I can email them to you.
All right. Yes, please. Quick question on the stamp. Do we have to have, if we decide to go that route, is there something we have to prepare for?
Yeah, you'll have to give me your signature in a little block and I'll have to send away for the stamp. We've had them
Okay.
before, but then they voted not to have them anymore. So, it's up to you guys. I do.
Okay, so it's not a huge thing, so we can wait until next meeting. That just kind of
Exactly.
popped in my head.
I will get
all
more
right.
information for you for next meeting.
All right, cool. I don't believe there's any more. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's made second. Vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Nathan Matala, aye.
Thank you, everybody.